Welcome to the Rise Up Rich podcast. I'm your host, David Haas. Thanks for joining me today. I think today's podcast is going to be really amazing for people that are looking to execute at a higher level. A lot of what I do is a mixture of spiritual and personal development and actual productivity, taking yourself to the next level, taking your business to the next level, your income, whatever that may be. And I think that this is one of the most critical, practical things that you can do to dramatically improve your life. And it's insanely simple. The crazy part about it is that it's so simple that you probably won't do it. And this is like one of the cornerstones of my coaching is that success is simple. It's just about doing small daily tasks consistently. The problem being is that we have resistances to doing things. Self-doubt jumps in there, and there's a bunch of things. So that's where we get into the spiritual and personal development side of things. But today's podcast and lesson is this really going to be about practicality. And if you can get through all of the resistances and the barriers by doing the inner work, and then you can actually implement the power of scheduling, your life is going to dramatically change, and you are going to increase your profitability. You also will increase your profitability actually, but you're going to increase your productivity so much that you're going to get more done in a day than most people get done in an entire week, maybe in an entire month. And it's all around the power of planning, or the saying that I like to use, that the things that get scheduled are things that get done. And what I want to do today is just walk you through what I do. This is the one thing that has completely transformed my level of productivity. And I've known this for years. I've known that if you schedule things, you just massively increase your productivity. But I wasn't able really to get consistent with it until about a year or so ago. And once I finally made this consistent, where I sit down every Sunday night and make my schedule, this is when everything completely transformed for me. And so what I'm going to do is just take you through this process, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it and how it can dramatically improve your level of productivity. And also the other thing that's going to do is it's also going to increase the amount of free time that you have, which sounds crazy because I'm going to show you how to schedule kind of like every minute of your day, but it actually ends up increasing the amount of time that you have that is free time. So before you even start doing any planning at all, before you make your weekly schedule, the first thing you need to know is where are you going, right? Which is like, what is your life goal? Like, what is it that you want out of this life? Is it to be the best father? Is it to make $1 million? Is it to expand your business? Is it to travel around the world? I don't know. I don't know what it is for you. It's different for every single person. So the first step is and I use this thing, it's called the 5 circles, and I kind of use it loosely, but this is just a good context. And if you're just starting out, getting ready to start implementing a daily schedule, then this is where you want to begin. You only have to do this kind of like once a year, but essentially it's this. It's like, where are you going? Where do you want? You have 5 circles. Circle number 1 is my life. What do you want out of this life? Okay. From there, you want to break that life goal down into, what do I need to do this year in order to move me closer towards my life goal? So let's just say your life goal was to make $1 million. Well, you're not going to probably do that in a year, right? So some people could obviously, but what do you need to do this year to move you closer towards having $1 million in the bank? Okay. So, some things would be like, start a savings account, expand your business. How are you going to expand your business? Like really breaking down these goals into like a 1-year timeline. And you might not reach your life goal in a year. Most people won't reach their life goals in a year. So what are you going to do this year to get towards your life goal? Then from the year, you want to break down the month. What do you want to get done this month that's going to move you closer to your year goal? So get really specific. Like this is the one thing that will take a little bit more time. But when I say a little bit more time, I'm talking like an hour. If you take an hour to plan this out, you're going to plan out your year, and you're going to feel like you really have a good handle on what it is you need to accomplish this year in order to move you closer to what you want. How do you want to maximize your potential in this life? Then what you do is, and this is where it's going to get into the more of the weekly thing, is you're going to break down what you need to do on a weekly basis to achieve your monthly goals. All right. And then finally, you break down from the week, you break down what you need to do today to achieve your weekly goals. Okay. So this is where I want to describe to you my process, because the week and the day is really what you're kind of doing on this consistent basis. The month goals, I think, are good to review at the beginning of every month. So you can probably do that on for me, I do this Sunday night. All right. And actually I missed doing it last night, so I had to do it this morning. I'm still not done. And I hate when I do that, because then I feel like I'm just kind of out of sorts. So if you have to install the habit of doing it consistently, and it doesn't have to be Sunday night. I just happen to like doing it Sunday night because I know I sleep great on Sunday night. I wake up and I know exactly what I have to do on Monday morning. Okay. So what I do is every single Sunday night, I make a list of everything that I want to get done in that week that is not in my schedule. So there's appointments we have there. For me, with coaching, I have coaching clients, I have meetings for my other business. So all of those are automatically inputted into my calendar. Here is where, if you don't have like reoccurring things, well, actually, no, everyone has reoccurring things. If you work a 9 to 5, you got to have in that schedule that you're at work from 9 to 5, right? Like, it's relatively simple. If, for me, I watch my daughter every morning from 7 till 8 in the morning, right? So that's in my schedule. Like, that's just reoccurring. I go to the gym every morning from 6 until 7, okay? So these are the things that are just reoccurring in my schedule. So they don't change. They're like kind of constant. Some things are moving around, like doctor's appointments, these types of things. But these are just things that we can't change, right? So they're in our schedule. And so then what I do is I make a list from my monthly list, looking at what I want to achieve in the month. Then I make a list of all of the things that I need to do this week to get me closer to achieving my monthly goal. So I just literally make an actual checklist. I have actually wrote it here. I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, you're not going to see, but if you watch this on YouTube, it's like literally I make little boxes and I write out all of the things that I want to do. Now, these are the things that aren't fixed. These are the things that you might want to get done around the house. These are the things that you might want to do to improve your business. These are the things that you might want to spend family time certain days a week. Like maybe you and the wife and the kids are going to go to some location, these are the times where you're going to schedule all this stuff in. So it's just all this loosely based stuff. Okay. So then what I do is now I pull up my Monday calendar, right? And I look at all my fixed appointments. And then in between those fixed appointments, for me, I have free time. So I look at those free time and I go from my list, my big checklist that I want to get done that I pulled from my monthly, and I start inserting those things into those free times. So if I have like a 2-hour window, I know that I can't do a 4-hour task. I mean, that seems obviously obvious, but it's funny though, what will happen if you don't actually put these scheduled things into your schedule, this list of loosely based things, because what we'll do is if you just make a to-do list and you don't actually put it into your schedule, what you'll do is you'll do all of the easiest things first. Right? And then the hard things, the things that will actually be the real needle movers in your life, like let's say like writing a book or finally releasing that product or finally getting that. Those were the things that you'll push off because those are the things that are outside of your comfort zone. So what you'll do is you'll check off all of the simple, easy tasks like cut the grass and whatever all the easy tasks are that you're used to doing, and all the things that are actually important, that are actually going to make real change in your life, all you do is put them to your next week's to-do list. Okay. So this is what we want to try. We want to try avoiding. And the way that we do that is we actually put it into our schedule, right? So that we know from 2 to 4 on Thursday afternoon, we are writing the ad copy for a new product that we're releasing, right? We're doing the things that are moving us closer to our monthly goals. So when you do this, a couple of things happen. One is you just get a ton of shit done. I've experienced multiple times where I've written out my monthly goals and I made a checklist of the things that I thought I needed to get done in the week to get me towards my monthly goal. And multiple times I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve in the month, in the week, because I thought that I needed this much time to do these things. And once I really got focused and I had my schedule really locked in, I realized that I blocked out 2 hours to make 3 phone calls when it only took me 15 minutes, right? So then when I was like, oh, I've got that done quickly, what did I do? I took the stuff that was scheduled at, let's just say this was 12 till 1. So from 12 to 1, I left myself an hour to make 3 phone calls. It only took me 15 minutes. Then I just went down my list, and from 3 to 4, I had 3 other tasks scheduled. So what did I do? I just started doing those tasks, right? And then by like Tuesday of this week, I had completed everything that I want to do in the entire week. So then what did I do? I went to my month and said, what else do I need to get done in this month in order to move me closer to my yearly goal? And in a week's time, I got all of my monthly tasks completed, right? This is the power of planning. This is what happens when you really get really, truly productive. If you look at all of the super achievers in the world, their schedules are to the minute. They're like scheduled down to the minute. They don't have a minute free. They're just insanely efficient. And I think that this is the one critical factor. If I wish I could have grabbed my 20-year-old self and just shook myself and been like, this is the one thing that you need to get consistent on, because this is what's going to allow you to be insanely productive. And now that I've experienced this power, I can just see how inefficient I once was, and I just don't want to allow myself to do that. The crazy thing is this, like I said, I knew this 10 years ago, but I only started using it in the last year and a half or so, and my level of productivity since then, I mean, that this is essentially right around the time where I launched my coaching business. And in a year's time, I took a coaching business from having 0 clients to doing over $100,000 in sales. And it's like, holy cow, like this can really happen quickly if you really utilize your time efficiently. The second thing that's going to happen is not only are you going to become insanely more productive and get way more done than you've ever gotten done in your entire life. The second thing that's going to happen is that you're going to really enjoy your free time. Like when you sit down at the end of the night, and I schedule in my free time, it's like from 6 until 8 o'clock essentially is when I'm having dinner with my wife, hanging out with the baby, just kind of like just relaxing, right? And then I do spend an hour at night, at the end of the night, usually doing a little bit of work, and then I'll have another hour where my wife and I will just like watch a TV show or just, unwind together, right? So that's actually scheduled into my schedule. So what will happen is when I actually take the time from 6 to 8 to like have dinner and hang out with my family, I'm like just really at ease and like really enjoying that time, and I'm really present, right? I'm not thinking about all of the things that I need to do. I'm just completely 100% focused. Plus, I have no guilt about not doing the work, right? It's like I did the work. I did more than most people will do in an entire week in a day. So it's like I can really enjoy my time with my family because I just know I did everything that was on my list. I was insanely productive. So when you feel like you had this sense of accomplishment, the sense of like you had a great day and you did everything that was you were supposed to do on your list, and you're moving closer to your monthly, your yearly, and your life goals, then you can really just relax, right? And there is no more overthinking about what you got to do tomorrow and all of these things on your checklist that are like weighing on you because you know that they're in your schedule and you're actually going to get them done tomorrow. So it's like there's a real sense of accomplishment and ease that happens and allows you to be present with your family or whoever it may be when you're actually hanging out. So I think that was like another major shift that happened for me when I really started getting insanely productive with my schedule. So these are the things that I think will really move the needle for you, is because you're putting the tasks that are needle movers actually into your schedule. This is something that will completely transform your life if you can really install it. And it only takes about an hour a week to do. That's how literally simple this is. It takes you 1 hour a week. But I know that there's resistance to doing this schedule, because if there wasn't resistance, I wouldn't have put it off for 10 years, So I want to talk a little bit about what I think that resistance is. First, the resistance is that we believe that if we schedule every minute of our day, we're going to be just like these robots that just don't enjoy life, right? And also we feel like it's taking away our freedom, because now like every minute of every day is scheduled and we're taking away our freedom. And I've actually found that the actual reverse is true. By really scheduling your time and really scheduling every minute of every day. And when I say every minute of every day, the way I do it, and let me just do an aside here. The way I do it is I just have it like a 2 to 4 hour, like let's say from 2 to 4, I have a 2-hour window of things I need to get done. What I write in there is in my schedule, I'll write C notes. So in the note, I use Google Calendar. In the note, I'll write a list of like 10 tasks that I need to get done in that 2-hour window. Okay. So it's not like I have to be like at 2:15 I'm making this phone call and at 2:30 I'm making this phone call. It doesn't have to be that scheduled. It could be an open kind of thing, but in those 2 hours, you need to get done the tasks that are listed in those notes. Okay. So what will happen is when you do this schedule and when you really do schedule all of your time, you actually will have more freedom. And the freedom that I'm talking about is the freedom from overthinking, the freedom from being stressed out, the freedom from feeling like you're not doing enough, being enough. We hear this saying like do more, be more. And it's like this will eliminate that stress and that anxiety because we have just this, sense of knowing that we're actually accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. So it ends up giving us more freedom. The other resistance, I think, though, is, the resistance to the uncomfortability of doing the task that we've been putting off doing our whole entire lives, right? So I always love using the idea of writing a book, probably because I haven't wrote my book yet. So, but let's just say if you want to write a book, it's like this is something that is outside of our comfort zone. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to start. And if we actually schedule that into our calendar, right, there's going to be a huge amount of resistance in there because there's self-doubt and there's disbelief and there's the sense that we don't know how. But if you actually just put 2 hours in and actually do it, you're going to find that the how is revealed by taking action. Again, this is another like pillar of my coaching. It's just like take the action and you're going to understand how to do anything. Okay, so that resistance kind of ends up getting built into the schedule. This might be another thing that prevents you from implementing this thing that will completely transform your life. So just be aware of those resistances. The resistance that you created a belief system that if you schedule every minute, you're not going to have freedom. Be aware of the resistance to actually doing the tasks that are going to move the needle. And just that awareness alone will begin to transform those resistances and hopefully give us enough momentum and power to start implementing this daily. It's actually not even a daily task. It's a weekly task. It's like once a week, every single Sunday, right? You just put your schedule in. It's literally that simple. And that would be actually the third resistance. The third resistance is that it's so simple that you think you can put it off. Okay. So simple. It's late Sunday night. Maybe you watched a movie with your spouse or significant other and then you're like, oh man, it's 11 o'clock. I haven't done my schedule. And this is exactly what happened to me last night. So it's like, I'm too tired. I'll do it in the morning. Right. And now for the entire day today, I'm kind of scrambling to get my schedule together. I did do day one and it's number one is to get my schedule done, but I would rather know going into the week that my whole entire week is scheduled. All of this, just as a reminder, every single thing is being pulled from this life goal, and we're just breaking down this life goal into smaller goals that don't overwhelm us, okay? So that's the overall context on how to implement planning and how planning is probably one of the critical factors to becoming like a super achiever, to getting more done than most people get done in a lifetime in usually a month, Like for me, a perfect example for me is like, I'm releasing this online program where it's like an online course, and it took me 3 months the first time to build the landing page, shoot the videos, shoot the landing page video, the ads. It took me 3 months, and I released it, and the ads didn't really perform well, and we weren't really getting a lot of conversions. So then in 3 days, I redid the whole entire website, reshot all new ads. And what once took me 3 months now took me 3 days, and it's because I was able to put these things into my schedule and really produce at a high level. And then also the how gets revealed by taking action. So you're kind of getting the power of two things. You're becoming insanely efficient with your day-to-day schedule, but also the how is being revealed because you're taking this consistent action. And the more the how is revealed, the better you get at actually doing something. So something that once took me 3 months now took me 3 days, right? So do you see how I become like this insanely productive person? I get more done than most people will probably get done an entire lifetime in probably a week, right? Which is wild to think about, but this is what is available to us. So pay attention to the resistances, make the life, year, month, week, day. And the week and the day are what you're doing consistently. So you don't really need to make those circles. It's really just life, year, and month that you're kind of drawing from. And then weekly, once per week, you're making your weekly schedule and you're doing it per day, right? So you're breaking big goals down into small goals, which will reduce the overwhelm, make you insanely productive. And then you also are revealing the how by taking action. If you're able to implement this one simple thing, you should hit me up and let me know after you do this week, how much this completely changed your life. And I'll put you on my website as a testimonial, or maybe you could write me a blog post on the power of planning, and I'll feature you on the website, maybe have you as a podcast guest, because this is how important it is. And I truly, fully believe that if you're able to implement this, you're going to be able to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. So yeah, that's it. Let's wrap it up at that. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I hope that delivered you a ton of value. If you have any questions about how I do my schedule, I'm going to make a video where I'm actually showing people how to use Google Calendar, and I'm probably not even being as efficient as I can with that calendar. I'm sure there's like tools and apps that I could be using that would make me even more efficient, but I keep it pretty simple. I write it in a notebook and I implement it through Google Calendar. So yeah, so keep an eye out for that video, and hit me up if you have any questions. You can go to my website, davidhaas.ca, and then you can also obviously check me out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's all David F. Haas, Haas. If you haven't already, just make sure you click that subscribe button, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.